Welcome back to Sailing Cedar McLeod. In this episode, we make another abrupt change in our plans and decide to head to Glacier Bay National Park. We sail into the night and arrive at Bartlett Cove at 2 in the morning before doing our orientation and then heading deeper into the park. Thanks so much for watching, and if you're enjoying the series, make sure you hit subscribe so you see the next ones coming up. We're hanging out in Swanson Harbor. It's a rainy morning. There's supposedly 20 knots blowing outside here, but we're not really seeing any of it, so it's pretty sweet in here. Had some pancakes, just chilling out. We'll probably leave around here around 1 o'clock or something. The rain's meant to stop sometime around then. And the current will turn in our favor at that point as well. So I think these eagles have found a poor oyster catcher's nest. And the oyster catcher is just trying to scare him off, but it's probably too late if that's what has happened. Okay, so we've done another 360 and we've decided to go to Glacier Bay. We checked in with them and it turns out there's some permits available right now. So we are 25 miles or something from Point Gustavus where you're into the park. And so we're gonna head there. Hopefully we have some easterly type winds on this very wet day, but the rain is supposed to subside as the day goes on, so hopefully that occurs and we dry out as we come into Bartlett Cove. So we actually ran out of ice like a couple days ago, so the primary reason we're going to go to Glacier Bay is there's the ice that's drifting around in the ocean, so we don't have to, you know, spend all that damn money on blocks of ice in once we get into town. Instead we'll just grab from the ocean. Alright, we're, am I saying alright at the start of all the videos?
Almost.
Yeah, okay.
Almost all of them. choose from a variety of like 5 or 6.
Here we are.
Here we are. Alright.
Alright.
Howdy folks.
Howdy folks. We are in Icy Strait, heading towards Glacier Bay. We got a permit first thing this morning. Just asked for them one and they had it available. And it's been intermittently good sailing with a bunch of slow stuff in between, but we have a pretty nice angle and a pretty nice breeze right now. We're traveling along at 4 knots. Navionics says we'll arrive at 1 a.m. into Bartlett Cove, which is fine. We have a tide that we're going to be wanting to wait for anyway, so we can just wake up, go do the orientation, and then go sleep some more, and then head up into the bay. Their Wi-Fi signal, because one time I got fairly close to one, or one got close to me, and it actually connected and I was able to check an email. This one's giving me nothing right now. I was connected to a printer somehow a second ago. We're not connected, but it was showing up. Stay tuned for the Wi-Fi diaries later on. Okay, so we are passing a Princess cruise line, and let's see how the Wi-Fi is. There's the beast right there. You can see its television screen on the top, because yeah, why not? And there we go, Medallion Net. Let's try and connect. We're having a bit of problem with connectivity on the Princess cruise line here. Okay, here we go. We are live update here. We are obtaining an IP address currently from the Royal Princess over there, that big ugly cruise ship. I suppose they've just had too many bums like us trying to rip off some free internet, and they've made it more difficult to connect, maybe lessen the strength permeating throughout the ocean around here with the Wi-Fi. Oh, I stand corrected. We are connected to Medallion Net. Let's see what we got here. Gonna try to load up the old Google. It says internet is unavailable. This is just an old page I was looking at, backcountry skiing in Juneau. Still there for me. Nothing's happening. Let's see here. We get a little connect thing. Yeah, no connection here. Looks like there's gonna be a paywall or a membership wall, so too bad, no internet here on Icy Strait for Cedar McLeod. Cedar McLeod out. So another bit of an update from the Royal Princess here in Icy Strait. There is a long line of breaking kind of perfectly barrels. Regrettably, we did not pack our surfboards, so we will not be able to hop off Cedar McLeod and go for a little barrel surfing here in Icy Straits. So it's too bad. That's what happens when you're on a 33-foot boat and you don't have room for surfboards you might only use when a cruise ship passes you in the inside passage. So we're en route to Glacier Bay right now, and we're about 7 or 8 miles from Gustavus Point, which marks the entry into the national park. There's only 25 private vessels allowed at a time in there, and we managed to get a permit a day of, so we're pretty happy with that. Figured it might be the case, given how early in the year it is. Lots of cruise ships streaming through here. We just made contact with the Queen Elizabeth, it's called, and they were kind enough to get out of our way as we were going under sail, so that was pretty good of them, being a big vessel and all. But we're on a perfect point right now. We're traveling at 4 knots straight towards our destination, so that's a pretty nice little treat. It's starting to get a little darker here. We're en route right now for a 1 o'clock arrival, 1 a.m. arrival. So it'll be a bit of a late one, but that's just fine. There shouldn't be ice in this area here, though we'll keep a sharp eye out. And now getting quite close to the solstice, and being so far north, it doesn't actually really get all that dark in and around here. Right, it's about 11 o'clock p.m. Still very good light. Even though it's quite an overcast evening, there's a little glimpse of light coming out of breaking the cloud up ahead here. And we're just about 1.5 miles or 2 miles from entering the park, and should be able to just do a tack and hopefully head straight into the park. Yeah, it's a beautiful, calm, mellow night of sailing. We've been cruising along at 5 knots, even though it's very flat out. It's kind of just perfect nighttime sailing, or Alaskan nighttime sailing, because there's really not much night here right now. Just approaching Gustavus Point, just tacked. There's some current pushing us out of Glacier Bay right now. That's Glacier Bay up there. We're gonna tuck up behind Gustavus Point a little bit before our next tack, so that could probably help us a little bit. As soon as I tacked, we went from like a little over 5 knots down to 4.5, so you can see that current. But yeah, we'll just go up to the purple line and hang left and hang right and go up to Bartlett Cove up there. That's where we'll spend the night and then check in the morning. Alright, so it's 1:30 a.m. right now, or 1 a.m. We're just coming into Bartlett Cove. We managed to sail to right around here, and then the wind died on us. And now we're just mooring the last 3 miles. Going to bed. Pretty nice night. The camera has a hard time picking up how light it is. You can see a little bit, but we can see just fine. It sort of reminds me of like 10:45 or 10:30 in the summer down near Vancouver. But right now it's 1 a.m. up here, and this is about the light you'll get for the night. Might get slightly darker for an hour, but then it starts getting very bright by 3 again. The sun's up, I think, at 4 a.m. We arrived in Bartlett Cove at about 1 a.m. or 1:30 a.m. Anchored up and went to sleep. It's now 8:45. We just pulled up the anchor and pulled into the dock here, and now we're gonna go do the orientation on this little slightly drizzly day, low cloud, but hopefully it'll clear up and we'll get some wind. Okay, so we had a nice relaxed morning here in Bartlett Cove. Took care of laundry and we had showers, which was pretty nice. And there's a beautiful kind of northerly breeze blowing, so we're certainly gonna at least get one beam reach out of here, and then we'll be tacking up the bay. In the vicinity of here, you're not to get within a mile of shore. And there's a section in the Narrows where it narrows right down where you're supposed to go, so perhaps we'll motor through that one section with the current, because it's going to be kind of goofy trying to tack through there and trying to stick with the rules of not going outside the marked channel in terms of trying to stay away from humpback whales that feed along the shore. So. Okay, we are underway out of Bartlett Cove. Beautiful, breezy, sunny afternoon here. It's about 3 o'clock, and we'll have lots of current in our favor heading up through the Narrows past Strawberry Island. Throughout this area here, there's a bunch of rules about not getting within a mile of shore or maintaining a mid-channel course where that's not possible. So we will sail for a little bit, but motor through the narrow bit because it's going to be almost impossible to try to tack through a 200-meter corridor or something like that. As required by law, we are motoring. I mean, we could sail, I guess, in theory, but it'd be pretty hard to tack up about a 100-meter wide little section here. Though I guess we did that in Grenfell Channel, sort of, wasn't quite that narrow. But we're just gonna motor along here for about another 3 miles, and then we can get sails back up, tack into this. It is very choppy in here too, with the current opposing the wind. The current is in our favor though. We're doing 6.3 over the ground, so we'll make quick work of this little spot. So Glacier Bay seems hesitant to let us into the deeper reaches of it. There's a pretty good outflow wind here, but we're making some okay progress, and on the next tack we're going to be doing pretty good. But basically just drawing a straight line across the inlet right now, and we'll be tacking in shortly. Rocking and rolling into Glacier Bay. We were gonna head for a Blue Musk Cove, but we're pretty tired, at least I am, after our 1:30 a.m. finish last night, and then a bit of noise while I was trying to sleep. The wind came up. So we're gonna head across to Sandy Cove, which is 7 miles from us, and we are bounding across the bay right now. The current against the wind right now, so the waves are pretty choppy and stacked up. But we're doing just fine. Going 5.5 knots, sometimes 6. Waves are slowing us down a bit, but we should be at anchor hopefully within an hour and a few minutes. Alright, so after quite a lot of hectic sailing there, we're coming up to this beautiful wind line where it just gets calm at the mouth of these big inlets here. And we're going to go to what looks like a perfectly protected anchorage on the other side of these islands and go and have a good night's rest. So after some pretty robust sailing there for a while, the day is finishing just perfectly. This is, you couldn't ask for a better way to be able to take down sails in a minute here when the wind's going to be totally die up ahead. still putzing along at 3 knots or something in the lee of this island, so there's like no waves anymore. Just out there, it's super choppy and still pretty windy. Just rolling into North Sandy Cove. It's Puffin Island here. I don't see any puffins though. Fresh landslide there. Lots of fresh, active landscape here. We arrived to North Sandy Cove to find it peaceful and calm. And like many anchorages in Alaska, it was full of wildlife, including this humpback whale that spent much of the evening feeding nearby the boat. As we relaxed and watched the sunset, both Alex and I were getting super excited about heading further into the bay where the mountains are big and the snow line was very close to sea level. Sometimes people ask if Glacier Bay is worth the hype, and yes, it absolutely is. Coming up next time on Sailing Cedar McClyde, we continue deeper into Glacier Bay to the amazing and beautiful Reed Inlet, where we anchor in front of a big glacier. We enjoy a peaceful night at the anchor while soaking in the scenery, and then we head up onto the adjacent ridges and go backcountry skiing again. Thanks so much for watching, and if you're enjoying the series, make sure you hit subscribe so you see all the next ones coming up. Bye for now!
In Glacier Bay, where the winds can sometimes take a bite out of you, I take a bite out of Sesame Snaps to get the energy back in me. Is the energy in you? Sesame Snaps. Glucose, sugar, Sesame Snaps, Unitop Productions. Out.